Yeah. And then I saw the other white things with more balls. Phone set. I think it's phone something.
Yeah.
Last week when we had that first election stuff, we were having their lunch, I'm sorry, I was so
I saw one.
Not to worry.
Just a
you know, you just hate it when you do stuff like that. I do. But I look forward to singers too, and getting together and flowers and stuff. I really enjoy the singing, that's so nice.
Yeah.
From the fireworks, it comes from
Oh, just
plants. He's sick, and I'm thinking about everybody.
See, we're in the writers, my,
and what is good for it, obviously, phone set is.
Yeah. Last week
They
we
don't
were
do
on
anything for them.
all the jazz calls.
But even then, everybody rushed the grocery store and get stuff, and then
Right, just facilitating the self-sufficient that is creating new.
if you ever get it, just bump my elbow. Okay. You mean the two? You want to read both of your
No,
names?
I tried, it's a piece of that.
I know.
Great, we have this morning.
This, that'll be the second time ever since I've been here.
oh, interesting.
Interesting approach.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine. Now, do you want to do?
You know, sometimes most we have a lot, okay. They're right, you know, what do I
Means I
want?
have to listen.
Yeah.
And you don't have any.
That's what it's like at that other church, right? I hope that.
So after they
You had the first one, and they bring their kids to religious education. I guess, I don't know. My students used to work there.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, everyone, and a special welcome to all of our online friends and guests. And we're glad that you're here, whatever way you are here. My name is Brian, for those of you that may not know me on the internet somewhere. And my pronouns are he, him. A couple of announcements, the first of which is I welcome Sana Del Corazon here this morning to speak with us about transformation. We're really glad you're back.
I'm glad to be here.
And we also want you to note that we don't take an offering. You all, I think everybody here knows that. We don't take an offering, but we do have a plate in the back. Just a couple more announcements before I open it up to the floor for more announcements. Next week is our water ceremony Sunday. So this is when we invite anyone who wants to bring a little bit of water from something that's very important to you. It could be from a lake or a river, it could be from your faucet, it could be like I usually bring some of the little holy water that I have still left from the Jordan River in Israel. So, you know, it could be anything that you would like, and you don't certainly have to participate. And then what we'll do is during the service, we'll pour it all together in a vessel and bless it as a congregation. It's a symbol of unity and faith and community and all of those things. If you have more questions about that, feel free to see me or email me or call me. I would be happy to talk to you about that. That's next Sunday, but before next Sunday, we do have an autumn equinox service this Friday. And for those of you, we have not had one of those since I've been here. So it is a really informal, earthy service. You're invited to come and be a part of it. Barbara and I are going to be together leading that service here in this space at 7 o'clock on Friday. Again, it's kind of informal, very earthy again, and it's the celebration of the harvest at the beginning of that, and should be a nice time. It will not be as formal of a service like this, and it won't be as long as well. Then the 29th is Rally Sunday, which is the Sunday that we welcome ourselves and all of our friends that we invite and our family and those neighbors around us and so forth to be a part of our community for that Sunday. I'll mention that a lot more next Sunday because the announcements get long, but I do want to make sure that you put the date on the calendar that after that at 1:30 on Sunday on the 29th, we're inviting everyone to our farm for an open house and a harvest festival, which has taken on a life of its own. It was intended to be for our congregation, but local people have found out that this is happening, and so we're having even local leaders. The county commissioner is coming, and I don't know if anybody knows who Rachel Bowman is, but she is running for U.S. House of Representatives for our district. She's coming. I knew her, and she's like, "When is your open house?" I'm like, "Well, we just happen to have one." So now it's like I have like over 100 people who said they come.
Because you don't have any friends, Brian.
Right. I don't have any friends. Anyways, just wanted to mention that it should be. We're gonna have some, you know, music and food and, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's just fun, and then farm tours. All right, that's all that I have as announcements are concerned. Anybody have announcements that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I've been meaning to send out an email to choir people, but our idea is to meet twice a month on Tuesday. And I'm thinking not starting this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. If you have a problem with Tuesday evenings, let me know.
Kathy, Deb, and I have book club that night.
Oh, on the
24th.
On the 24th. Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. There's a song I would like to do at the Rally Sunday, and it's very simple, and it won't take much practice at all. So we'll figure out a time that we can meet and go from there.
I want to overdo the message of treats again.
Oh.
Need somebody for next week. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to monitor, and so I know that nobody's signed up for next week. But and if anybody wants help getting their account on Sign Up Genius, it's really actually quite easy because now it's bookmarked, and I just push that bookmark and it's right into Dakota UU. So, but I just wanted to say that, you know, some people have really fancy treats, and some people just, you know, have whatever they can bring, and it really doesn't matter. Just as long as we've got something. So, okay, that's all I have to say.
I like treats.
I know you.
Other announcements? Yes, hi.
First, I miss you all. I'm sorry I've not been here much. I'm just overbooking myself as always. And next weekend's a good example of that. I have 4 events, but I'll just tell you about 2. A lot of you supported me when I've been at the Steeple Center. And this next Saturday is the country fair. And I just have a table, but be a lot of people there with their books and their art and fun stuff and free ice cream from 1 to 2 as long as it lasts. So Steeple Center. And then the next day, we all love T. Michael Rambo. He's doing a concert at my neighbor's greenhouse, which some of you have been into. It's a greenhouse that was built specifically for community concerts. It's a $20 suggested donation that goes all to the artists. And that's at 4 o'clock, and it's also potluck. So, and it's a half mile from my house, so if anybody wants any details on either one of those, just see me afterwards. Good to see everyone.
Thank you. Yes, I know that there are a lot of events going on this weekend, which is why we may not have a couple people here, and next weekend. I was supposed to be at an event this weekend. I wasn't even supposed to be here. But it was canceled because of COVID, because they have like 8 people with COVID, so apparently that's doing a resurgence, and Kathy's out sick too with that, so we miss you, Kathy. All right. Any other announcements? Okay, with that, I invite us all to take a deep, slow breath, center ourselves as much as possible, and separate ourselves from the chaos of the world as much as we possibly can. Come before each other, with each other, in this community, and enjoy this musical prelude. I invite you to remain seated and join us in these opening words and lighting of the chalice. For our earth, our ancient mother, blue-green planet of the galaxy, harbinger of lives beyond measure, we honor you with our humble presence. We bow with humility and gratitude.
We pledge to transform our lives.
For the waters that give us daily life, from ocean depth to rocky cliffs, from Arctic ice to beaches and small streams, from lofty cloud to precious cup at our lips, we remember our dependence.
We pledge to transform our lives.
For the mountains rising to challenge our greatest aspirations, for the deserts transformed in the torrent of rain, for the forests thick with trunks marked by rings of wisdom, for roots interconnected web, for the new life within the heart of a seed, our souls respond in awe.
We pledge to transform our lives.
For the millions of species microscopic in the soil under our feet, to the pads, paws, and multi-toed, for the feathers and scales, for the minuscule eyes open only under the moon's soft guidance, and for the lichens and mosses pushing onto the leaves and rocks, we honor your existence.
We pledge to transform our lives.
For all of us descendants of the first primates, for those who sleep under the same blessed skies, for those who breathe the same oxygen feeding our heart, for those who need love as much as I, and for those who yearn for the case of compassion's release. We remember we are not alone.
Called by love for the interconnected web of existence, and I pledge to transform my life and yours.
So in the spirit of transformation, we light this chalice together and say,
May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal with love, to help with compassion, to bless with joy, to serve you, Spirit of freedom, in the fullness of community.
I invite you to join us in our opening hymn, number 145, and as you are able, please rise. Number 145.
As tranquil streams that meet and merge and flow as one to seek the sea, our kindred hearts and minds unite to build a church that shall be free, free from the bonds that bind the mind to narrow thought and lifeless creed, free from a social code that fails to serve the cause of human need, a freedom that reveres the past but trusts the dawning future more, and bids the soul in search of truth adventure boldly and explore. Prophetic church, the future waits your liberating ministry. Go forward in the power of love, proclaim the truth that makes us free.
You may be seated. I invite you to hear these words, our moment of beloved community. Dakota Unitarian Universalist Church offers its commitment to the following statements of affirmation for the LGBTQIA+ community. We honor the lives of all people and equally affirm displays of caring and affection without regard for sexual orientation. We celebrate diversity by using inclusive language and content in our worship. We incorporate an understanding of the experience of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer persons throughout all of our programs, including religious education. We affirm and celebrate lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer issues and history. We affirm marriage equality and conduct weddings for those of any combination of genders, gender identities, and orientations. We advocate for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people, promoting justice, freedom, and equality in the larger society. We speak out when the rights and dignity of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people are at stake. We recognize that there is always something more to learn and remain open to deepening our understanding about the lives of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, asexual, and queer people. At this time, I invite us to join in our sharing of joys and concerns. Please feel free to come forward and light a candle and share a joy and or concern, or more than one or two. And anybody online, if you'd like to share a joy or concern, we'll light a candle for you.
Well, to celebrate Don's birthday, which was 12 days ago, we took the train to Glacier National Park.
Oh, right,
And
okay.
had a wonderful trip. And this is kind of a big birthday, I guess, for both of us this year, so I say we're in the fourth quarter of the game, right? And he says, at least we're not down to the 2-minute warning. Hopefully. Right?
That's fair. Kathy, and also staff and Annabelle, they've not been feeling up to par yet either, so hope you all get well soon.
This is for Chuck. He has a birthday coming on Tuesday. Have many more.
I have a joy. Hi. This is to welcome our new members. I am so sorry, and I can't remember Ash's husband's name, but Ash and her husband,
John.
cool, John, Ash and John asked me for a membership form last week.
Oh, I'm sorry, just me.
Oh, just you. I'm sorry. Ash asked me for a membership form last week. So Ash will be our newest member as soon as we're both in attendance again.
Awesome.
Hey,
Welcome.
I will light a final candle for all those joys and concerns that remain unspoken. May we know that whatever befalls us in life, we are held in the loving embrace of this community. And now we say together, for all those joys and concerns, both spoken and unspoken,
We hold you in our hearts.
with much joy and love, I turn the service over to Saba.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So my name is Sana. I use she, they pronouns. Tell me if okay, let's put it on here. If I need to, you can hear me, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, great. It's, not having a microphone is always, because I start talking louder. Let me read today's scripture. It's by Lewis Fisher, who's a Universalist theologian. He was the dean of Rider Divinity School in Chicago, which was a Universalist seminary. I actually don't know if it still exists. I don't think it does. Yeah. Universalists are often asked to tell where they stand. The only true answer to give to this question is that we do not stand at all. We move. We do not stand still, nor do we defend any immovable position. We grow, as all things forever must do. The main questions with Universalists are not where we stand, but which way are we moving? Our main interest is to perceive what is true progress and to keep our movements in line with that, and not to allow ourselves to move round and round in circles like a squirrel in its cage. Old worn phrases are always losing their old meanings and must forever be finding new meanings in light of new experiences. The end. I realized that I put the rest of the thing in there. All right, let's just take a deep breath. Prepare our bodies. One more. Howard Washington Thurman was an African-American man born in the South in the turn of the 19th century. Thurman was a pastor, author, theologian, mystic, educator, and spiritual advisor. As a prominent religious figure, he was called by many the spiritual backbone of the civil rights movement. What most people don't know about Thurman is that along with Reverend Albert Fisk, a white Presbyterian minister, they founded the first major interracial, interfaith church in the United States, The church is called the Fellowship of All Peoples, also known as Fellowship Church, located in San Francisco. This was in 1940s. Dr. Lisa Randroll, an interfaith minister who teaches about Thurman, says, Howard Thurman has been called a teacher of teachers, a preacher of preachers, an activator and activist, a mover of movers. As a visionary religious leader and thinker, he was a guide and inspiration to Martin Luther King Jr., James Farmer, Marion Wright Edelman, Bayard Rustin, Jesse Jackson, and many others who struggled for civil rights, justice, and freedom. Thurman's work speaks directly to today's personal and social issues, highlighting the powerful connection between spirituality and social transformation. At a time of local and national and global conflict, the Fellowship Church sought to discover whether meaningful experiences of spiritual unity among people could be more compelling than all that divides us. This experiment attempted to transcend the barriers of race, religion, nationality, culture, and social class. Throughout his life, Thurman's central pursuit was the search of an authentic community, what he called the common good, and among the roots of humanness and our spiritual nature. The initial congregation numbered only like 30, and within 5 years there were 200 congregants attending weekly services. The rapid growth of the Fellowship Church suggests that Thurman's message of full racial equality, remember this is 1940, before the Civil Rights Movement, found a fertile ground in San Francisco. In his book, Footprints of a Dream, which documents the establishment of this church, in 1944, segregation of the races was a part of the culture and the social fabric of this country. Sadly, this is still true today. Reverend Fisk and other leaders of the church were acutely aware of the injustices seen in the 1940s and were glad to share a simple but dramatic witness of fellowship practice in common worship. For Thurman, the idea of racially integrated churches was a dream that haunted him for a decade before he co-founded this church. So while working at Howard University as the faculty member and dean of Rankle Chapel, he was a prominent member of the pacifist movement who had a reputation as a religious thinker. In 1935, the YMCA student Christian movement gave Thurman the opportunity to travel to India, by boat, by the way. Took 3 months to get there. The same group visited 53 cities, and Thurman spoke at dozens of colleges and public events and public venues. During these appearances in South Asia, audiences repeatedly challenged Thurman to defend Christian teachings given the reality of racial segregation and white violence in the United States. Imagine this is 1935. These conversations inspired Thurman to later write his most famous book, Jesus and the Disinherited. But the trip's most memorable moment was a 3-hour private meeting with Gandhi at his retreat in Bardola, India. It was there that Gandhi declared, quote, "It may be through the Negroes that the unadulterated message of nonviolence will be delivered to the world." It was reported that after his meeting with Gandhi, Thurman continued his travels to South Asia and experienced a vision while gazing at the Khyber Pass from Pakistan. At this place of great beauty, Thurman was overcome with the power of history and religion. And in his autobiography, Thurman wrote that he knew he must test whether a religious fellowship could be developed in America capable of cutting across all racial barriers, with a carrying over into the common life, a fellowship that would alter the behavior of those involved. Thurman spent the rest of a decade searching for this opportunity and seeking to make this his religious leadership at Howard a model of ecumenical and mystical fellowship. In 1943, he got that opportunity. He was invited by Alfred Fisk to lead an interracial church, and this allowed him to fulfill his vision. Initially, the church just served the surrounding neighborhoods, which was primarily African American migrants from the South. It was known as the neighborhood church. But after moving twice to accommodate the growing congregation in 1949, they settled in a large building in Larkin Street where the church remains today. I actually had the opportunity to visit this church last month and talk to the two pastors. Their motto is they have a white and a black pastor. That's how they started and how they continue. There happens to be a white woman right now and a black man. It is still open and thriving, and actually the building was just marked as a historic building. I learned that the inaugural service of the Fellowship Church was actually held at a Unitarian Universalist church. And still today, they use the hymnal, Singing the Living Traditions, because they believe their church, which is not affiliated with any denomination, is best reflected by the values of this denomination, Unitarian Universalist. The rapid growth of the Fellowship Church in the 40s and the 50s suggested that Thurman's message had a fertile ground in San Francisco. He would say, watering the roots of our spirit is essential for renewal in order to avoid burnt out, but also to deepen the place from which we engage, so that we may come from a more profound vision and integrity in our work for a better world. He pioneered a form of spiritual activism that blended contemplation with social action. In his search for truth and meaning, Howard Thurman came to understand the unity of all living things, what we call the interdependent web of existence. Historians have argued that Thurman was perhaps the most profound and accomplished integrationist of our generation, of his generation. He brought the integration model right to the heart of society, to the church worship service. His experience as a pastor and spiritual mentor deepened this experimental church, where he sought to make church a refuge. Thurman believed that individuals who are in the thick of the struggle for social change could and should be able to find renewal and fresh courage in the spiritual resources of the church. Maybe you know his most famous quote, "Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and go do that, because the world needs is people who come alive." Thurman believed that the inward journey would lead us to our holy assignment in the world. Better said, through our communion with Spirit, we would find the strength, the courage, the vitality required for social action. So why am I sharing Thurman's vision with you, or the history of Thurman this morning? Well, first, I'm writing a master's thesis on Thurman. So I know a lot about him right now. My life is consumed in Thurman's work. It was not until last semester, my last semester at United, that I actually read Thurman in a course about leaders as agents, leaders as change agents, in a book called Anchored in the Current, Discovering Howard Thurman as Educator, Activist, Guide, and Prophet. It sparked my interest in his writing and ministry. Thurman is not well known despite his enormous contribution to progressive religion and interfaith dialogue. He brought together mysticism and social action. I believe if he were alive today, Thurman would be a Unitarian Universalist. It's funny because many people who call themselves Christian do not claim Thurman. He is a bit controversial. He encouraged congregants to explore the aesthetics of spirituality beyond reading scripture and studying traditional theology. He didn't believe in creeds and dogma, and he desired to create an environment in which congregants could experience mysticism and the presence of spirit outside the constraints of mainstream Protestantism. Thurman said he followed the religion of Jesus, not about Jesus. He accepted and followed the movement of the Spirit and its calling to a new way of being and living in community. He was also sensitive to the immorality of the Christian church, which he believed made it ineffective in the face of racial discrimination. He believed the church could create a fellowship that could transcend race, culture, and social differences. and he made huge sacrifices to create such a space and place. I think this is what Fisher is talking about, the reading I read, when he asked, where do universalists stand? Fisher wrote a book called Which Way? A Study of Universalists and Universalism. And again, he said, we do not stand at all, we move. We do not stand still, nor do we defend any immovable position. We grow, as all living things must grow. The main question, universalists, are not where we stand, but which way are we moving? Our main interest is to perceive what is true progress and to keep movement in that line and not allow ourselves to go in circles. As you know very well, the life of the church, a religious community, a community of care, is more than its building. It's an embodied faith. The life of the church is its people. It's about how being a part of a gathered community can change us so we can change the world in turn. Who you are as a spiritual community is not so much what you stand for, but how you move. As a denomination and a community who professes to value transformation, we must adapt to a changing world. We covenant to collectively transform, grow spiritually and ethically. We are open to change. That is fundamental to Unitarian Universalists, openness to change. It's part of the Universalist Unitarian heritage. And these changes are never complete and never perfect. Some things change and some things stay the same. And as I preached in January, the denomination keeps moving forward. Just this summer, the General Assembly approved a new statement of values and beliefs. These new values are equity, generosity, interdependence, justice, pluralism, and transformation centered around love. My point is, we do not enter liberal religious community to stay the same, to be agreed with, to receive comfort without challenge. Let me repeat that again. We do not enter community to stay the same. We are here for what is outlined in the third principle. We accept one another and we encourage spiritual growth. It's a wild thing learning how to receive acceptance and challenge, learning how to both accept people and encourage them to change, to grow, to be transformed. Yes, we come here to be changed in the course of an hour, in the course of a life, to remember that we don't have to stay stuck whatever has us stuck, to know that we are loved and worthy of love every step of the way, not just at some future destination. Howard Thurman understood this principle and lived into it. Individual and collective spiritual growth requires movement, requires taking risk, requires evolution and growth and transformation. The UU beliefs or principles aren't about where we collectively stand, but where and how we move to bend the arc of the moral universe towards justice. As Thurman could say, we all have a holy assignment, individually and collectively. Your job, our job as a community is to find a way where we open our hearts to one another, learn what matters to each other, and to find a focused way forward together. So as you continually discern why you exist, who you're called to be, and how you want to be known, may you continue to grow and keep moving forward, led by the central value of love, encouraged by friends and neighbors who are accompanying you along the way to become something new for this new moment. May it be so.
Amen.
Amen.
We'll just leave it there.
both pages out there. Jeez, where is it? That's strange. Can't find the rest of the tune.
That's all right, you can repeat the beginning, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I must have, oh, that is really strange. Okay, so, let's see. Improvisation on the spot.
Yeah, it was beautiful, it was beautiful.
As the
Forever evolve.
Yeah,
Evolving.
forever.
It was perfect, it was perfect.
It's at home, apparently.
Well, this is the time during our service where we have a reflective discussion for those of you that wish to contribute, and we invite you into this time.
Well, I think that the wording of, it's not where we stand, it's which direction we're moving. Made vivid that whole idea to me. I would have liked to have attended one of his services.
Well, there's plenty of recordings.
Yeah,
So if you
there
look
are.
online, he's got lots of, Boston has a sort of like institute or whatever, and they've collected all of his, and actually, Plymouth Church, he attended there, and they have a recording of that. It's all audio, right, because it's
Yeah.
1940s and 50s and 60s, so.
So tell me his name again.
Howard Thurman,
Howard Thurman.
Yeah.
Thur.
Thur. Mhm.
Is Judge Thurman, was Judge Thurman a descendant of his?
Oh, I don't know, that's a good question. I don't think so, because that's, yeah, but I'm not sure, yeah.
I think there might be a relationship, but I've forgotten now.
That's crazy, guys.
You know, I just, it's such a, I'm trying to think, a burden up, and where does it burden, where does wall, it's something to get over, you know, is the fact that most people don't want to change. You know, and I mean, look at all the classic, you know, Christian religions and, well, some of the other religions too, world religions that people feel comfortable with the not change.
Tradition, status quo.
Well, I think that's what's unique about Unitarian Universalists is that the desire is to hold the tension, to have tradition, but also move forward, right?
Right.
So that's why, that's the third principle, is that we accept one another, but we encourage growth, right? So we don't change immediately, yet every time someone joins, your church changes, your community changes.
right.
But not everything that people bring, you wanna change, right? Because
Right.
some things need to stay the same.
Right.
And the question is, I think, as individuals, institutions and communities and groups are a reflection of individuals, is deciding, well, how much change are you actually doing? Are you really stuck? Right? How much change are you encouraging in each other?
And does the change align with your values and
Exactly.
and the direction you want to go?
And change does in community require sacrifice. When Thurman decided to become this co-pastor, he had a position at Howard University, and he took a position where he got paid $50 a month because it's a vision that he believed in. He really believed that this was possible and that he had, he's like, if I really believe in this religion, then this should exist. So it requires sacrifice.
I still don't understand why there aren't more Unitarian Universalists. You know,
Best kept secret.
and it tends to be well-educated white people.
think about the evolution of this congregation and all the stuff that we've been through, I appreciate the adaptability that we had for new pastor, new location, hitting COVID and switching to all online services and trying different formats and stuff like that. We've been pretty flexible and willing to change, so it's been good that way.
Yeah, I think when people are forced to change, they'll be surprised how they're able. I mean, I think about COVID and how much worship changed over the last 4 years, and how what we feel now is normal.
Yeah.
Right? I love the phrase, and I think it relates to this, about there are two lasting bequests we can give our children. One is roots and the other is wings. And that's where I think that we find that tradition that gives us that roots, that solidifies us, centers us, grounds us. But then we have that ability then to move forward or take flight or whatever we need to do.
Well, as always, I invite us to continue in this discussion. When? Over treats. Thank you, Sana. I invite us all now into singing time again with number 138. I'm sorry, 139. Numbers always challenge me. 139. Please rise as you're able.
I don't know.
Play for the whole
Okay, okay.
Two of this one, so I might
So as we move from this time and place to the next, I invite us all into that type of transformation that engages and employs change moving us forward, as Sana has so eloquently taught us about. So let's go in peace and change the world.
We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love.
I like that.
Yay!
Amen.
Time for treats, y'all.
Well, and we were able to transform and move in the direction of learning a brand new hymn.
Yes, yes, I love that.
Which is odd because that other hymn tune is one that's been around for 200 years. The hymn, Christian hymn that I played was the last hymn. You know that tune. It's got like 3 hymns that are that same tune, the Christian hymnal. But it's like, so I knew it.
Yeah.
Can't sing
Oh,
it.
thank you. Thank you.
That was very good.
Yeah. I hope I got the pictures to serve. Your process.